Late one October night, a thick fog rolled in, blanketing the small town of Pine Hollow. Inside an old, creaky house at the edge of the woods, Sarah was tucking her son, Danny, into bed. At 7 years old, Danny had always been a curious child, but tonight, there was a strange unease in his eyes. "Mom," Danny whispered, pulling the covers up to his chin. "I keep hearing a voice coming from the mirror." Sarah sighed, trying to brush it off as a child's imagination. "It's just your mind playing tricks on you, sweetheart. There's nothing to be afraid of." But deep down, Sarah felt something was off. The antique mirror in Danny's room had been in the family for generations. Passed down from her grandmother, it had always felt strange. She had avoided it herself, often feeling as though it watched her when she passed by. That night, after Danny had fallen asleep, Sarah stood in front of the mirror. Its surface was smooth, reflecting the dim light of Danny's bedside lamp. But as she stared at it, a chill crawled up her spine. A soft, almost imperceptible whisper echoed in the room. "Sarah, come closer." Her heart raced, but something pulled her forward. As she leaned closer to the glass, her breath fogged the surface. For a moment, her reflection shifted. It wasn't her anymore. It was an older woman, eyes hollow, skin pale. The face was familiar. It was her grandmother, but twisted and eerie, a ghostly version of the woman she once knew. "Take my hand," the reflection whispered, lifting its hand toward her through the glass. Sarah stumbled back, her pulse quickening. The reflection's mouth twisted into a cruel smile. "Take my hand, or I'll take him." Suddenly, Danny stirred in his sleep, muttering something unintelligible. The temperature in the room plummeted. Sarah felt icy fingers brushing her skin, and she spun around to find the mirror glowing faintly. Without thinking, she rushed to her son, pulling him from his bed. But the moment she touched him, Danny's eyes shot open. Black, void-like orbs stared back at her. "Mom!" His voice was layered, not his own. "You can't stop it." Terror gripped her heart. She looked at the mirror. Its surface rippled like water, and from the glass, a hand slowly began to emerge. The skin was withered and rotten, its long nails tapping the floor as it crawled out of the mirror like something reborn. Sarah screamed, grabbing Danny and running for the door, but it slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. The whispering grew louder, more frantic. "You were always meant to be mine, Sarah. You and your boy. Come tu me." The creature, her grandmother, dragged itself fully out of the mirror, standing tall, looming over them both. Sarah, trembling, held Danny tightly, backing into the corner. She could feel her son's body stiffen in her arms, as though the creature's presence was draining the life from him. "Leave us alone," she shouted, her voice cracking with fear. The figure paused, cocking its head, as though considering her words. Then, with a voice that no longer belonged to her grandmother, but to something far older, far darker, it said, "I'll never leave." In a desperate act, Sarah grabbed a shard of a broken picture frame nearby and lunged at the creature. The glass plunged deep into its chest. The figure let out an unearthly shriek, dissolving into a cloud of black mist. The mirror cracked, its surface splintering into a web of shattered glass. Suddenly, the room was silent. Danny slumped into Sarah's arms, his eyes returning to normal. The mirror, now broken beyond repair, lay in shards on the floor. Sarah held her son close, her heart pounding. The house was still, but she knew deep down that the darkness was not gone. It was simply waiting, and the whisper, it would come again,